3,110. 3,110. Preparing myself for today, I went back to remember my first Iskor, 1981. A huge synagogue, packed, and then the announcement came. Those who do not have to say Iskor, please leave now. I wanted so badly to be able to leave, but I belong to the other group. I was one of the newest members of that team. Suddenly, a silence filled the room. In an instant, the place that was brimming with lively conversations underwent a dramatic transformation. A sense of mystery, awe, and suppressed pain came out. You could cut the rawness of the emotions with a knife. Something profoundly authentic united all those standing in the room. What was it? Our hearts shifted to those we loved so deeply. Life for those who say Iskor has a very different meaning, one that can only be shared by those who have seen the earth close up on a loved one. It took me some time till I put my finger on what that connection consisted of. A piece of each of us cannot be found any longer in this world. A piece of our hearts was elsewhere. 3,110. That's not the cost of my first car. That's not my bi-weekly salary. It's not the 4 last digit of my social security number. It's the number of weeks my dad lived. 3,110. Every Iskor is special. This Iskor is extra special for me. In 2 days, I will be my dad's age when he passed. I remember at the age of 36 thinking, I have lived longer without my dad than with him. Ask anyone who lost a parent when they were young, and they will tell you how it feels to live in the shadow of you believe can be your own personal expiration date. And once you outlive them, you ask yourself silently, how come that they can still be your parent if you are older than they ever were? When a parent dies young, their age at death becomes frozen in time. They are forever that age. You write it on medical history forms, on life insurance policies. Your parents have to be older than you. That's the logic, no? Magically, you can become older than they were, and they are still your parents. I grew up following my father's lead, striving to be like him. Now that I am hours from becoming the age he was when he died, I have nothing left to compare myself to. My tour guide is gone, and I must find my own path. When a father dies young, you will never know the joy he would have felt at your achievements, the pride he would have displayed at your graduations, milestones, the strength he would have shown in times of adversity, and the deep conversation you could have had as adults. An early departure robs you of the opportunity to witness the evolving role, not just as a parent, as a friend, a confidant. When a father dies young, you will never know the advice he would have given. I don't know what kind of grandfather he would have been. I don't know what advice he would have given me, but I do know this. I have so much to be thankful for. Can you feel the presence of a loved one who passed away? Let me tell you a story. 20 years ago, when you bet on me to become the associate rabbi, it was a challenge. My level of thinking was on a university graduate level. My ability to communicate in English was at the high school level. I wanted so badly to feel that I have something to offer. Couple of weeks into my new role, I found out that Shirley Schreiber, of blessed memory, who remembers Shirley? Shirley Schreiber was sick. I went to see her at the hospital. I thought it would be a 30-minute visit. I stayed for 2 hours. I loved that lady. I didn't want to leave. We spoke in Yiddish all the time. When I left the hospital, I remember myself thinking of my dad, and on every time I would speak to him in Spanish, and he will stop me and say, "Mit mir wirst du reden nur in Yiddish." With me, you will only speak Yiddish. It was my father's way of teaching me a language, and I believe training me for that moment in the hospital, and many more. And how many times I will be speaking from this bima, and he will whisper a word or tell me, "Look to the left." And now look to the right. And now please speak slowly so they can understand you. I do this consciously because I realize that whether on or off the bima, my dad was instrumental in making me who I am today and finding joy, beauty, pride in serving the Jewish people. I'm going to ask you to do something difficult now. This hasn't been easy for me, so why should I make it easy for you? I want you to think about one special person, just one person who is gone, who you miss dearly, who you will be reciting Iskor in a few moments. I want you to consider the influence on your life. Think about a father or a mother, a grandpa, a grandma, a brother, a sister, a spouse, a partner, a son, a daughter, a friend. If they were right next to you, what would you thank them for? What would you tell them? What aspect of their life had an impact on yours? And now the toughest question. What are you doing to live your life as an inspiration to others? What are you doing to positively impact your children or your friends? Life is a collection of stories which together compose history, and history is nothing but a struggle of memory against forgetting. Memory is what gives us power to defeat death. A traveler met an extremely kind old man in Jerusalem. After spending hours with him, he asked, "I'm curious, what do you think led you to be such a warm and generous soul? You don't know us, and you treat us with so much kindness." And the man responding the following: "At the age of 7, I left Poland with my family. The week before we left, my father took me to the next town rabbi so he would bless me. When we had to return to our house, a storm broke out and we had to stay overnight at the rabbi's house. I had to sleep in a small room. It was the rabbi's room. I was so excited to be surrounded by so many books and to be in the rabbi's study that I couldn't sleep a wink. In the middle of the night, I heard noise. It was the rabbi who had entered the room, and I pretended to be asleep. He looked at me and murmured, "What a sweet boy." And thinking that I might be getting cold, he took off his jacket and very gently placed it on me. The old man looked the traveler in the eye and said, "I'm 87 years old and I still feel warm." Although our loved ones have passed into eternity, what we came to say is that we still feel warm. We still feel the warmth, the love, and the support of parents, of grandparents, of husbands and partners, and wives and brothers who shelter us for so many years. A 3-year-old girl was on her grandfather's shoulders. Grandpa's best friend appears, look at the girl and say, "Oh my God, how you have grown. You are 3 times the size you were last week." And the girl looks at him and answers, "All of this is not just me." My friends, each and every one of us is standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, and we are blessed to still feel the warmth of their jackets. May we in their honor cover with our love and warmth all those who come after us. Life is a set of stories that together make up the history of your life, and history is nothing more than the fight of memory against oblivion, and memory is what gives us the power to overcome death.